Claudette, I'm good. Claudette, happy birthday. All right. Y'all, number one, how cute is this flamingo? So our Halloween flamingo did really well on Etsy. We sold a ton of them. So I thought for sure we would bring back the Christmas flamingo. Or not bring back, because we never had it before, but bring it. Look how cute she is. All right, so first things first is I need to figure out where her center is. I think it's gonna be right in this area here. How long is the sale? At least for today. You ordered 4 elves? Boy, girl, which one? Mixture of both? All right, so the Flamingo is on Wreath Sign Outlet. It is CR-W-095, or just search for Flamingo. If you want the completed Flamingo, it's on Etsy. It's under DecoExchange.etsy.com. If you want a Flamingo kit, it is also on Etsy. Just make sure whenever you're shopping on Etsy, you either get the one that says kit or the completed one. Right now the images are the same because we haven't finished one to make it. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna need a little piece of this. All right, so I personally like to take floral foam, wrap it in a little piece of ribbon, and then I'm gonna use that to staple my door hanger to. All right. Y'all, we're gonna need, I'm gonna need 3 of these because I'm making 3 of these tonight. So let's just go ahead and cut them. There's 1. Can you get the planner 25% off? Well, you shouldn't be able to, but I did not take it off, so I guess you can. I didn't think about that one. But yes, it's on the website. 2. You just got 2. Awesome. All right. There's our 3 that we're gonna need. All right, so I'm just gonna fold it in half again. Give it a good twist. Y'all, this is wrapped floral wire. You can get it on Amazon. You literally just typed in wrapped floral wire. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep all 3. Cute shirt, thank you. You can get it at decoexchange.etsy.com. Melinda, what the heck? Melinda said today was day one of a 2-day craft show. She sold 28 wreaths, 10 door hangers, an acorn, a gnome, multiple detachable bows for door hangers. You also got prepaid order for 2 elves. Melinda, that is awesome. Congratulations. Mary, just change the quantity to 3. Whenever you use the discount, it changes your door hangers to wreath signs. I don't think on the re-sign outlet they're the same way, but at the 1650, it's going to be the correct one, right? 2250 at 25% off is 1650. Y'all, unfortunately, I can't troubleshoot customer service while I'm live. Stephanie just finished DJing a wedding. That sounds like a terrible time. All right. Hey, you know what? Beth, you just said 7/8 ribbon, and that reminds me that on that order that we just got in, there should have been a whole bunch of 7/8 ribbon, and we didn't see any of it in the live sale. You had trouble in the app, it kept charging you shipping. Did you spend over $100? All right. Get that stapled. Marilyn, glad you found us. Thought you weren't coming back. I'm just kidding. All right. So we got our door hanger on there. All right, y'all, we need to put his feet on. Y'all, this time, I made sure it didn't matter which way the feet were going. We can't get them backwards. So, what I want to do is get this lined up on a line, get the boot lined up on a line. I'm going to use the red and white peppermint for his legs. So I'm going to cut a 12-inch piece. Well, I'm going to cut a 24-inch piece and fold it in half. All right. Y'all, if you decide to make the flamingos, notice that the back is not painted white, which means you will need some craft foam to staple, or your staples may go all the way through, and that's not what anyone wants. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now, if your boots are on a straight line on your mat and your flamingo is on a straight line on your mat, it doesn't matter how your ribbon goes. It should be fine. Right, so it doesn't matter if you get the ribbon perfectly lined up on the back. Did I make the flower that's on the floor? Either I made it or Mel made it. I don't remember which one of us made it. All right, y'all, the 12-inch is a little too big. So the top part of the boot, it has like a little narrow piece in it between the boot and the fur. So if I kept it, the length that it was when I folded it up, it wasn't quite in that little gap that I need it to be in. I can show you when I pick it up what I'm talking about, but you could probably get away with a 10-inch leg, or make the distance between the body and the boot longer, whichever one you feel better with. Do I have one-legged flamingos? I mean, you could just put one boot on if you wanted. It would be real hard to get his the ribbon to stay bent. Now, we could probably make one the same way with actual wood for the legs. My concern with that would be how fragile it may be during shipping. Just being honest. On the end user, right? So whenever you're trying to ship it, how fragile would it be? All right. I like the peppermint legs. Glenda, we are gonna make the 5 door hanger kit tomorrow. All right. Y'all, now I'm gonna do just like I did with the Halloween, and I'm gonna put a Christmas bow right up here. I'm gonna use this 4-inch let's see. Let's make this about, let's do 12 inches. That'll be a nice thick ruffle. All right, y'all, I'm gonna ruffle this. Maybe I'm gonna do it this way. Maybe I'm gonna fold it in half and then ruffle it. Whoa. Fold it in half and then ruffle it. Y'all, it was like a little spring there. That's a good size right there. Yeah, the subtotal has to be over 125. And then if you take 25% off of 125, it drops you below 100. So you have to make sure that you are still over the amount that you need. All right. Y'all, now I'm gonna cut these into 6-inch pieces. One, two, Parker's good. All right. So 6-inch piece, fold it in half. What the heck? Y'all, worst dovetail ever. somehow I made it square. Okay, fold that in half. Now, this bow is super tiny because I just want it to be a little accent on her head. The Flamingo is available. You can get it at wreathsignoutlet.com. If you want the completed Flamingo or a kit, you can get it from DecoExchange.etsy.com. All right, so we got a cute little X here. Y'all, and then I found some like little pink glitter kinda. So I'm gonna make another 2 6-inch cuts with that one. Now, y'all, since the Flamingo is pink, I decided a little bit of pink in her bow would be cute. Y'all, Sarah Frost, she just made a comment. She's the one who drew this little flamingo. Y'all think she's gonna keep making flamingos for every season for us? We need a Valentine's Day flamingo. We need a Mardi Gras flamingo. No, we need a Mardi Gras pelican. Sarah, can you draw a pelican? An Easter flamingo. Patriotic flamingo. Y'all, Sarah's gonna be busy. All right, this one we're gonna put in the X right over the top of the red. We need a whole flamingo line. All right, so we got another little X there. Y'all, and then I found 1.5 inch that matched. You love pelicans? Okay, so the store that we sell in is called Flock of Five, and their whole theme is pelicans. If we had some Mardi Gras pelicans, they would probably do really well. Why a pelican? Well, because I've never ran into a flamingo on Bourbon Street. All right, so we matched one. Pat, Rue does not come to this warehouse except for that one time when Parker brought in to see Tammy here. All right, so we got a little baby bow going on here. Y'all, we are gonna take just a... The discount is not when you spend $250, it's when you spend $125. All right, I'm gonna take a little zip tie. You know what? Last time when I did this, I did not use a zip tie. I used a pipe cleaner because I was able to get it more where I wanted it. All right, so we've got a little twist. Y'all, we're gonna get that nice and tight. Give it a good twist. So look, whenever you twist it, your ribbon is gonna wanna pop up. Then you're just gonna kinda pull it back down just a little bit to make it look like a little flower. But when it pops up like that, it's gonna hide your Chanel stem and it's gonna make the white a little bit more. Oh, thanks, Nicole. Okay, y'all, now we just have like this little pom-pom bow. And then we have the little pipe cleaner here that we can use to staple her little bow right to her hat. Okay, y'all, and then I cheat with just a little bit of hot glue, right? So the staple is gonna keep it from falling off, but the hot glue, if I can weave it through all my crap here, the hot glue, if we put it right underneath our bow and then push down, we'll keep our bow right where we want it, right? That staple could wiggle a little bit. So our staple is gonna hold it, make sure it doesn't fall off. The hot glue is just gonna help it stay in place. Now, if you were extra, I'm personally not gonna do it because I don't have time to do it if I sell a bunch of these. But what you could do is you could take a little bit of, it used to be right here, polyacrylic with a little bit of glitter that used to be right here. And you could put it on all of the white to make it a little iridescent and sparkle. But look how cute she is. All right, sorry, Cardinal Reef, but you've been evicted. Yo, don't tell Megan. Oh, look, it would look like this. I can show y'all what it would look like. See how on the gingerbread, the snow is glittery? You could do that. To all of the white pieces on her little outfit. Y'all, I almost burnt a hole in my water bottle. My water bottle was like that close to the glue gun. That would have been depressing. That was only my wire cutters that fell off the table. All right, let me move this stuff out of the way. So that completed flamingo will be on Etsy, DecoExchange.etsy.com. If you want the little kit, DecoExchange.etsy.com. If you just want the flamingo wreath sign outlet. On wreath sign outlet, you can also get 25% off today whenever you spend more than $125, and it will be automatic. No coupon needed on the website. Y'all, I thought I was gonna use this, and I thought I was gonna use the little white snowball in the bow, but as I was making it, I knew I was not. It was not gonna look good. All right, let's make this one. Oh, I need those. Yeah, I can use that. All right, so Sarah, we didn't cut the extra holes in it. Is tax part of the 100? It is not. You have to, your subtotal has to be over $100. All right, So if you missed my live earlier today showing off these two cuties, y'all, the team forgot to poke out these two pieces of wood right here. There we go. So we have matching door hangers with these. Y'all, and her shoes do matter. Her shoes do matter, so make sure you have the little tips going whichever way you want them to go. Can these be exposed to the weather? Yeah, I've had some on my door for like 3 months now. All right, so they're gonna go like so. Now, I did not make kits for these, mainly because of the legs. I didn't know what I was going to do on the legs, so I didn't make kits for these. These you would have to get on resignoutlet.com. See, I don't like that for sure. So I think the legs are going to be like this. All right, so let's get this one over here. I need to find her center. So I think on both of these, I'm gonna just eyeball between their eyeballs for the center. Well, 1 second. Donna, I don't show any orders for you under, is it Donna Clayton or Donna Eller? Donna Clayton. I don't see any orders for you under Resign Outlet. That would have a like there's no order, so I'm not sure. And on your on the order you placed on DecoExchange, it was $133.32. It took 25% off, which made your subtotal $99 plus shipping. So that's, you didn't spend $100. All right. Glad we could figure out what we already knew. That's always the problem, is the subtotal is not over $100. All right. So we're gonna cut 2 pieces of this at 24. But you can email customer service if you need more help with that. It's info@damonotes.com. There we go. All right, gonna fold this in half. That'll give us 1 set of legs. Yeah, I've lost a little bit of weight. All right, there's 1 set for that guy. One set for this one. And then I'm gonna use that scrap ribbon from a while ago. And a little piece of our craft foam. How much would I charge for the Christmas flamingos? If you go to DecoExchange.etsy.com, the listing's already out there, so you can check it out. All right, let's get this guy stapled back here. All right, so we've got a little door hanger on there. I'm gonna get her bottom lined up on one of the lines. Get her little feet. Now on this one, because I wanna do this as a double door, I wanna make sure that I put these lines on the same place, right? So I'm gonna need y'all to help me remember 11, because the bottom of the elf is on the 11. Wait, is their bodies the same size? I need to know that too. Yeah, they are. All right, so her body is on the 11, and y'all know good and well I'm not gonna remember that, so it's all of your jobs to help me remember. I'm gonna give her some long legs. Tell me how you lost it. Weight loss injection. So just go to your doctor and ask them if they will prescribe you a GL1P medication. All right, that's that. So if you have the body lined up on a single line and the bottom of her shoes lined up on a single line, it doesn't matter if you get this part exactly correct. What I will tell y'all, what I found is that if you staple too far down in the feet kind of want to bow out. So I try to keep my ribbon stapled towards the top of the shoes. What's the number for that ribbon? This ribbon is RG01893E9. All right. So we've got her little feet attached. Diabetes medication. It was originally made for diabetes, but it's now prescribed for weight loss. All right. Now on her, I want to make her a little bow for her hat. All right, gonna measure this out to 12 inches again. Same situation, I'm gonna just ruffle that. Not that way, this way. Parker, the print shop is not gonna like my request. So on the live a while ago, someone was like, you know, if you're gonna offer these as door hangers, you should offer the set, you should offer 2 boys, and you should offer 2 girls. So I'm gonna do that. All right, so we got that one. Oh, you know what? I didn't want to use this one. Trash. Actually, I'm gonna throw it in my flamingo box because that goes with the flamingos. I want to use this one. Can I create a gnome with dangle legs? Y'all, you just have to ask Sarah whatever you want, and if she can make them, we can print them. So Sarah's business name is Chasing Rue Designs. So between Sarah and Pink Cow Designs, they've been doing a lot of our door hangers. So if you have crazy ideas that you want to see, just tell them. And I'm sure if we both think it's something that people will buy, like we're not going to make a custom door hanger for one person. If we do, there's going to be a custom fee associated with that. From Sarah for drawing it and us for printing it. But if it's a good idea that we think people will buy, we can definitely talk about it. All right, we got that. Now I don't want to use that one. I think I'm going to use this one now. So I'm going to trim this down to 6 inches. Jeanette, this is going to be a really hard, it makes like it makes a layer. I think if you tried to drill through it, you would probably crack your paint. Sarah is chasing Rue Designs. She's also on the live right now. Do I prefer doing the wooden hangers or wreaths? I do more wreaths than door hangers. What the door hangers allow me to do is multiples. And multiples sell easy on Etsy. And I use it as a teaching moment for students. It's like, what happened to my white pipe cleaner? It's right here. Mary, we have a whole class on how we do our interchangeable door hangers. It's inside of Makers University. All right, we're gonna tie our little bow on here. Y'all, these bows are just meant to be like a little accent piece. I don't want them to take away from the door hanger. I also want them to be quick and easy. So I think I'm gonna put the bow on the opposite side from her hat. Y'all, are we already out of staples? Sometimes I think my gun just eats the staples while we're not here. Because it doesn't seem like we staple that much, really. Y'all, I'm not going to give you medical advice. Number one, it's illegal. Number two, I'm not a doctor. So I can tell you what I'm taking, and I can tell you who you should contact, your doctor. Y'all, I'm just going to give her one little sprig of just a little something to make it better. All right, gonna add a little bit of hot glue. How did I come up with the cat's name, Richard? I didn't. Parker did. All right, so the staple is gonna hold it The hot glue is just going to keep it right where you want it to go. All right. Y'all, she's super cute. Now let's make her friend. All right, so we got to get our door hanger on the back. Y'all, I got to find some more craft foam. So same thing, I'm just going right between his eyes and adding my door hanger there. Yeah, Shelly, we're about to do little boy now. Can you join without paying the large deposit? Yep. So if you pay the deposit for business coaching, which I think is $297, you unlock every masterclass that we have. If you don't pay the $297, it unlocks one masterclass every month. But if you go to learnfromdamon.com or damonslinks.com and click on business coaching, both will tell you all about it. Have I considered making ice skates? I have not. Can you make a Mr. and Miss Santa Claus with ribbon legs? That would be super cute if we know an artist who wants to do that. Irita, you could have only been following me since the middle of 2017. We've been doing it longer, but I've only been going live and stuff since the summer of 2017. Is the ribbon you use for the Flamingo available? Yeah, it should be. How do you spell your name? DecoExchange. All right. So y'all, on this one, we're gonna put the bow on the top of his present. Now, Sarah had a really good idea that we should just cut little slits so the ribbon would fit. We sold them before we cut the slits. So we're just gonna staple the little bow right there. So I'm gonna make the same little bow that we did for the other one. Gonna take our 4-inch, gonna measure out about 12 inches. Y'all, the other day, someone was like, I've known you since before you met Parker. I was like, no. Parker is the reason why we have this business, really, because he's the one who was like, you should really do that. So the Parker came before the business did. All right. Got this little guy. Gonna need 2 of these. Y'all, these are 6 inches. So I'm just gonna cut one at 12 inches. Put the legs on first. I will, but I wanna get the bow made. That way I can move all this out of my way. I hate how you sold out to this tacky shit. I understand you changed your business model from wreath maker to retailer seller. You're no dummy. You're living the dream. So what you're saying is you don't like door hangers. But door hangers are maybe 1% of our business. So I'm sorry that you've had a bad day. You should probably get a snack, maybe a little something else, and come back tomorrow. Also, you're not going to come back tomorrow because I feel like you just offended some of my really good friends who are door hanger artists. So don't worry, Allison. I got you, friend. Ban from all live streams, confirm. You know, if she would have just said, oh, I'm not a fan of door hangers, we could have just let it go. But you can't come on here. And number one, the artist who made it, that I'm very good friends with, is here. And you just offended her art. And that's bullshit, friends. So we're not going to do that. Y'all, lesson number 2 in business for the day. Not every customer deserves your respect. Some you just let go. All right, so let's keep making our fun little bow. Who says things like that? Y'all, hurt people attempt to hurt people. But listen, I grew up fat and gay in the South. It's going to take a lot more than that to hurt my feelings. Just saying. All right. So let's get this one on here. All right. Y'all, I lost my pipe cleaner again. Oh, it's right here. All right, let's get this little pipe cleaner on here and tied off. Wendy, they're not worth the conversation, but I do like to draw the line in the sand and let people know there is a line. Because if you don't, they'll just be wild. So, but look, now we're good. Libby, that is one of the reasons that we started doing it, is because most of you guys already have a lot of the things to make your door hangers possible. So it was just adding one more piece to your inventory. And if you guys saw earlier, Someone sold 10 door hangers today at their craft show along with all their wreaths. So it just gives you another layer to help your same customers. And let's face it, some of our customers may not have $150 or $250 to spend on a wreath this Christmas, but maybe they have 60. And maybe they still want to support your business, right? Now you can do something just a little bit different for them at a price point and still have something super cute on their door. Okay. Even with old girl trying to disturb our peace, 11 inches was the number. And we want to make sure that the boots are on right. And they were down here at the 1 inch mark. Y'all, I gotta find more craft foam. Y'all, what's funny is this craft foam comes in a pack of like 50 like this thick, and I can never remember where they are. I always just have one little straggler. What's the thing I use for the bows? I use the Easy Bow Maker. We sell it at DecoExchange.com. Could you cut holes for cable ties in the door hangers before you paint them? No, because I don't know who would want a cable tie versus just stapling on the back. And we don't all design the same way or want them looking the same way, right? So maybe you want to put your bow over here or over there, right? You sell at a boutique? Yeah. Boutiques are fun. Y'all, I'm gonna give him a little bit bigger gap between his thighs because he's a little skinnier. Not really, but the girls' shoes kind of touched a little bit more than I wanted them to whenever they were hanging down. So I'm just gonna separate his ribbons out a little bit more, a little bit of a thigh gap. You know, that thing most of us would choose to have. Why do you use the craft foam? Well, because if you don't use craft foam and your board's too thin and you staple it, it'll go through. So I know for me that with this stapler and this wood, my staples just are like a little bit too long. If I use my regular stapler, they don't go through. So that's why I suggest that you test it with yours to see what's gonna happen. So you could test it like if you know you're gonna put your bow right here, test, you guys can't even see it. If you know you're gonna put your bow right here, test the staple there to see if your staples go all the way through. All right, so I want his little bow to be on the, that was about to sell real bad. I was about to say on top of his package, but I guess that is where it's going. But let's use present instead. So we're gonna put it right here in the middle of his present. And then I'm just going to put my little dab of super glue right underneath it. How long are my staples? They're 1/4 inch, and it's a 1/4 inch wood. Now, y'all, whenever I use just a regular stapler, it doesn't have as much force as the electric stapler, and this one doesn't go all the way through. So it's really going to depend on your unique situation, where you're putting your staple length, your staple gun. Y'all, let's give him a little bit. Yeah, we'll give him one too. Y'all, I'm just gonna work that right into that hot glue that's already there. Someone stole your pumpkin door hanger off your door? What the heck? Where can you purchase these? If you want to make them yourselves, go to wreathsignoutlet.com, and we have a whole bunch of different elves actually that you can choose from. One of the set of the elves have different shades of skin tones, so it's really whatever you want. The flamingo is also there. If you want the flamingo kit or the completed flamingo, they'll be at DecoExchange.etsy.com, and then the completed elves will also be at DecoExchange.etsy.com. All right, so let's get these two. Y'all, I'm gonna put them where well, let's see. If they were hanging on my front door and she was on this side, that's how I want them. So they'll be like this. They're super cute. Now, one thing that would also be super cute is if you took a little bag of bells and you super glued a metal jingle bell to their boots. That way, whenever the wind actually blew them, like the little boots would jingle. That would be super cute. I would probably not use super glue for that. I would probably use E6000 if I was gonna do that, I do believe. These are cute. Okay. Well, let's see the flamingo again. And then here is the flamingo. I do like the flamingo. All right. Y'all, let's make sure we turn off our staple gun and unplug the glue gun. And y'all, that's it for tonight. All right, if you haven't shopped yet, make sure you check out both websites. If you spend over $125, your subtotal on either website, you will get an automatic coupon for 25% off